I slept in the same bed with my best friend. I told him not to be jealous. He walked out instead. The clock on the wall said 6:12 a.m. I remember because the second hand was stuck, trembling between numbers, like it couldn't decide whether to move forward or stay frozen, just like me. He was standing near the door, his jacket already on, shoes tied, phone in his pocket, calm, too calm for a man who had just watched his entire life crack open. I was still in bed, the bed I hadn't slept in alone. The words slipped out of me before I could stop them. "You're not even going to ask?" He didn't turn around. The silence stretched, heavy, punishing. I had imagined this moment differently. Yelling, accusations, maybe tears. I had rehearsed my defenses all night, whispering them into the dark. Nothing happened. You're overthinking. Don't be jealous. But he didn't want explanations. That terrified me. He finally spoke, his voice low and steady. I already know what I need to know. Something inside my chest collapsed. "You're leaving?" I asked, even though his bag was already by the door. He nodded once. No anger, no drama, just certainty. I sat up, the sheet slipping down my shoulders, suddenly aware of how exposed I was. Not physically, but completely. "I told you not to be jealous," I said weakly. "It was just sleep." That's when he looked at me, not hurt, not furious. Done. And in that look, I understood something too late. This wasn't a fight, this was an ending. I kept telling myself I hadn't cheated. That word felt too extreme, too ugly to stick on something that had felt complicated. My best friend had been in my life long before my partner ever was. We grew up together, shared secrets, trauma, laughter. He knew my past in a way my partner never fully could. That's what I told myself. That weekend there was a party, too much alcohol, too many memories, one spare bed. When my best friend suggested we share it, I hesitated for exactly 3 seconds. 3 seconds wasn't long enough. We lay there, inches apart, our backs facing each other. No touching, no kissing, no obvious betrayal, but my mind never slept. I felt his warmth, his breath, the familiar comfort that had always lived between us, now charged with something dangerous. In the morning, guilt crawled up my spine, but I crushed it with logic. If nothing happened, there's nothing to confess. Still, I told my partner, or at least part of it. "I slept in the same bed as him," I said casually, like it was nothing more than the logistical detail. His eyes darkened for half a second. "And?" he asked. "And nothing happened," I added quickly, "so don't be jealous." That was my mistake. I didn't ask how he felt. I instructed him how he was allowed to feel. I mistook his silence for understanding. It wasn't. It was evaluation. After he walked out, the apartment felt wrong, too quiet, too empty. His absence was louder than any argument we'd ever had. I waited for messages, calls, questions. None came. That's when doubt crept in. Because people who care don't disappear without a word, unless the word has already been spoken internally. I started replaying everything, the way my best friend always showed up when my partner wasn't around, the way he subtly criticized him, disguised as concern, the way he positioned himself as the one who really understood me. I checked my phone. Late-night messages I didn't remember writing, conversations that blurred the line between emotional safety and emotional dependency. Nothing explicit, nothing obvious, just enough. Enough to form a pattern, enough to tell a story. I realized something chilling. My best friend hadn't crossed boundaries. He had erased them slowly, patiently, until I couldn't see where they'd ever been. And my partner? He had been watching, quietly. Learning, deciding. I didn't confront anyone yet. I needed to know how deep it went. The truth came from an old backup file, messages restored accidentally, conversations I thought were gone forever. My best friend texting someone else. "She's closer than she thinks. He doesn't see it. Time is on my side." I felt sick. I met him that evening, public place, neutral ground. I didn't raise my voice, I just slid my phone across the table. He went pale. "I was protecting you," he said. "You were unhappy." I shook my head slowly. "You were waiting," I said. "There's a difference." His silence confirmed it. The realization hit harder than any insult ever could. I hadn't just betrayed my partner, I had been used. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I did something quieter. I sent everything to my partner. Every message, every timestamp, every hidden intention. No excuses attached, just truth. Then I blocked my best friend everywhere. Gone. Days later my phone rang. His name. I answered. "I know," he said simply.
Throat tightened. "I didn't leave because you shared a bed," he continued. "I left because you didn't protect the relationship." I swallowed hard. "I see it now," I whispered. "I know," he replied. That was it. No reunion, no forgiveness, just understanding. And somehow that hurt more than hatred ever could. I live alone now, not broken, aware. I learned that betrayal isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, familiar, comfortable. I learned that boundaries aren't about control, they're about respect. And the man who walked away without shouting, he taught me the most painful lesson of my life, that love doesn't beg, it leaves when it's no longer chosen. And I let him go, not because I didn't love him, but because finally I understood why he had to leave.